So hey guys, today I'm going to drop you guys a quick reminder that Artifact Scythe is still legal. So what we could still do, and we could have done for a while, tag this at Scythe, and then pop Scythe. There are a multitude of ways to do this, but yeah, the classics never get old. So Verte sending Fusion Destiny, and also what worth mentioning, I guess, we have Celestial legal. So yeah, we can go like Dasher, Celestial, DPE. And this package actually isn't too bad. So with Scythe, if we hard open Scythe, we just can skip making Dagda. We can just set Scythe, and then we're just solid in that regard. We open Fusion Destiny, same thing. We just skip making Verte, and we can just activate Fusion Destiny later, which is perfectly fine. And then if we open either of these, then we get a little upset because we just see them go into the void because we can't really do anything with them except put them back into the deck if we have something like that, like maybe a Plague Spreader type card or Illusion of Chaos in our deck. Then there's really nothing we can really do with these guys in hand, and they're just purely negative. But they're still technically okay to open. You just go neg for it, right? But aside from that, yeah. Next thing I was thinking about was, you know what? We could make this more disgusting. We could protect our Scythe while we're at it, There are several ways we could protect Scythe with Adventure, which is actually kind of amusing, kind of funny. But alright, if we have Breath of Resurrection, for example, this just allows you to special summon any two monsters from your hand and or graveyard with different names. Although they will get banished when they leave the field, you can special summon back Scythe with the effect of Breath of Resurrection, I guess, if you want to do it that way. Aside from that, you could, just use Wandering Griffin Rider effect to negate like a Called by the Grave. That works also. Just for example. And of course, with this engine full power, we could play what we were playing before at that point, which was like the Fam Knight deck that just did this, essentially. But with Griffin Rider here, we can just brutalize our opponent very easily. And then you just have to deal with this. And I mean, how do we want to set this up exactly? Let's think about this for a second. Well, Terratop seems good here. We can link off Terratop into whatever we need, so sure. We'll go like this, Cherubini, Alcatomborg. And then this can get us into a Cherubini, sending Water Enchantress to the graveyard, grabbing us Rite of Aramesir. We have Foolish Burial, sending Water Enchantress. If we're feeling particularly psychopathic, we could even do like Foolish Burial, send Scythe, and then bring it back with like the Adventure Trap, for example. And if we increase the access to the Adventure Engine, the card seems like it could be a little bit better. Just a little bit, though. Well, okay. Basic idea, though. With the Adventure stuff and DP, we can just keep resetting Draco back and popping it with DP. And the DP just pretty much never goes into the graveyard, so in the grind game, we don't have to worry about Called by the Grave on DP. And of course, we also have Celestial draw after our opponent gets floodgated by the Scythe here, which is pretty powerful, I guess. So let's see, what next from here? We could do a lot now, actually. So now that we have these, I guess we can just grab the Kishtira cards, actually, and we just drop this for starters. And yeah, that seems pretty good. We have Kishtira Fenrir, which can grab us the Unicorn, and then Birth, which can allow us to special summon Unicorn again, and potentially normal summon, I guess, a Fenrir. If we can get these guys off the field, that'd be great. Because we can, with technically like DB, that could do it. Not bad. And I guess let's throw in this because it's a generic. Then we can do potentially IP as well. Then we can go IP into SP, which is new, which is something we couldn't do before in these builds. If we wanted to prevent Cold by the Grave, is there anything else we could do to kind of set up a reborn here? Let's see. During your opponent's turn, if this Link Summon card is destroyed, you can special summon one artifact monster from your graveyard in defense position. This is an if, so if we pop these two at the same time, it would be like Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, so you can still call by, I guess, Scythe to stop that, so that doesn't change anything in that regard. So, I mean, the easiest way is just to set up a Spell Trap Negate, and then we should be solid, I guess, right? Anything else we could just grab from here? I mean, with all these bodies, we could also technically grab, I guess, Totem Bird. Because then we can just convert these guys to a Spell Trap Negate, and then that'll prevent Called By that way. So now there's like DD Crow left, which I'm not sure if we really care, but play around that if we wanted. With the Bamboozler over here. Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. Big fan, big fan. Alright. And yeah, we can just do some generic nonsense. But if we want to just splash this into a deck that functions under the conditions of just essentially make Degda, trigger Degda, and then Verte, which you could technically even link off the Degda to make the Verte. Like, it's not necessarily every deck that can do this, but, you know, we can Degda special, trigger Degda to set Scythe on our own turn, and then link off Degda plus one other monster for Verte, so that's like, if we want to be minimalistic, we could do maybe 3 monsters. And hell, the monster that triggers Degda could even be linked off into the Verte as well. So yeah, as a 1-card combo, just like throwing this into a 1-card combo, it's not really that difficult. In fact, there were several before. We probably have more ways to do this now, so yeah. If I want to just splash this into something, what would be the best way to do this? Well, I'm not 100% sure on necessarily the best way, but Yubel has a line with this guy where you can make the Hyper Director, and you just use the Hyper Director to essentially pop the Scythe, kind of. And then you also have, of course, the Unchained cards, where you can use the effect of Yama to Reborn to destroy a card you control, including why, of course, Scythe on your opponent's turn. So, yeah, that's just a thing you can just do with either of those. And then, what else generically can destroy on your opponent's turn? Alright. Evil Twin or Live Twin. You can have the blue Link monster to destroy any card on the field. It's targeting, but yeah. If it gets the job done, it gets the job done. Speaking of which, I think Memento can do this stuff too. Destroy 1 card on the field. Here. And then this one. This destroys your opponent's cards, so that doesn't quite work out. How about this one? Also your opponent's. Okay. These guys don't destroy except for Fracture Dance, but I mean, if you really want to, you could throw in 1 Fracture Dance, 1 Scythe, to just Scythe lock your opponent. I mean, is it genuinely that bad? Because people are playing Paradise Smasher, you know, so but why not just Scythe lock? Like, sure, you're giving up a little bit of your main deck consistency, but why not? Clearly, you didn't want to have fun if you were playing this anyways, so this is still an option. It requires mostly just to give up 2 main deck. for something very disgusting, I guess. And any other ways we could trigger this effectively and easily? I mean, nothing easier than just dropping a Verte making DP, so yeah, I mean, that's basically the pinnacle right there, I guess. You never beat the classics, I suppose. And then after floodgating your opponent out, you can build advantage with Celestial and you still retain probably the DP as well as the Scythe. So that goes pretty hard. So just off of like assuming that this is all you do, we have Scythe, 2.2k, 2.5k DPE, and then we have Dagda Verte. So is this even game on board? I don't think it necessarily is, but still a sizable chunk of attack points. Plus then you have Celestial Draw and then like actually doing plays with your deck, I guess. Speaking of which, technically I guess you don't need Kashtira Unicorn then, because it's Scythe blocking, so it might be more efficient to just cut this, and then we'll throw in something else entirely. We can still keep Fenrir though, but no point in playing Raids off. If we only run one Fenrir as a search target, we can cut Fenrir entirely as well. We don't really need Fenrir. It actually conflicts with the Terratop a little bit, so maybe not necessary to run those all together, but yeah. General idea though. You can still Scythe block, no one's doing it though. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Well, before we do that, let's real quick. I just remembered. Wait. Millennium is spelled with 2 N's. Let's real quick just go over this. Special summon Sengenjin. Sengenjin grabs us Golem. Golem grabs us Wedju. We have 2 bodies. Wedju puts a guy in the back row. And then we're at 3 bodies. So link off. Let's go with, I guess, when we add Wedju, we can link off Golem and Sengenjin, activating Temple. Temple effect triggers Dagda. Special summon after resolving Wedju. We can special summon Snake Eyes Doom Dragon. And then would you look at that? We have 2 effect monsters for Predplant, Verde, Anaconda, and we also have Dagda in the back row because we triggered it with the field spell. And then boom, pop this. You just got it, you know? That's probably GG. Well, yeah. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.